There's nothing like the smell of spring or summer in the air.
Wouldn't it be so nice to be on a big porch under an umbrella sipping fresh squeezed orange juice or drinking iced coffee?
Yeah, but why is it that people always want to go out for brunch, even in the summertime?
I don't think most of them. You know, we can teach them a thing or two about doing it at home.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And welcome to the Melting Pot, the place where we bring the foods and traditions from our heritage to your kitchen. I'm Cheryl Smith.
And I'm Tanya Holland. There's nothing like enjoying great food with great friends, especially on Sundays for brunch. It's casual and it's relaxed.
It's entertaining. So we're going to show you some simple but scrumptious dishes that you're going to serve to your, for your next brunch. To start, I'm going to make my delicious caramelized onion tart that you can cook and serve at room temperature later. And then I'm going to also make a tossed yellow tomato salad that everyone's going to love.
And I'll be making salmon potato cakes with a roasted tomato sauce. Then I'll cook up potato and bacon hash with bell peppers. Yum. All right, we're going to get started on those salmon cakes. They're coated with breadcrumbs. They're going to be served with this delicious roasted tomato sauce. All right, the roasted tomato sauce, it's a mayonnaise-based sauce, and I always like to make my mayonnaise in a food processor, if I have one available. Starting with egg yolk. I like the way, because the blade really helps this emulsify. I also like to add a dab of Dijon mustard. And of course, some fresh squeezed lemon juice. So we'll get that going there. And then I take and I drizzle my vegetable oil in very slowly so it comes together. And this picture isn't cooperating with me.
It's doing just fine now.
Let me
so
just...
we want a nice consistency? Is that?
Yeah, you know, just like a nice thick, like a mayonnaise would be. Sometimes it's easier if you have more than one yolk, obviously. You know what I mean? You have a little bit more to work with. But that's coming together. There we go.
So first slowly to start, and then you can add it faster? Or
no, always slowly. Always a really slow drizzle. Yeah, that's what I think a lot of people make the mistake of putting it in too fast. And then it breaks.
I've broken a few.
And if it does break, one way to save it is a little bit of warm water. That'll help it come back together. I don't know if you know that trick. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. See, it's like a nice...
Ooh, perfect. Nice mayonnaise.
Nice mayonnaise. And so much better than the store-bought type. And I would season that with salt and pepper if I was just stopping there. But since we're going to add some other ingredients, we'll just season a little bit later. Next, I'm adding my roasted tomatoes, oven-roasted tomatoes, which I mentioned this technique once before. You put them in a slow oven, about 200 degrees, for at least 6 hours. Salt and pepper them, drizzle a little olive oil, and it just helps intensify the flavor of the tomatoes. I also put just another little teaspoon of Dijon mustard in here, and some ketchup, about a couple tablespoons of ketchup, and my salt.
That intensifies the tomato flavor, too.
It does. It certainly does. And a little hint of black pepper. And then I'll just put that together. And you know, a lot of people, when they think of fish cakes, you know, a lot of people think of fish sticks, and you serve them with ketchup, but this is much, you know, a little more sophisticated, I guess.
A little more upscale.
Upscale sauce to serve it with. So I'll put that in a bowl. Oh, actually, Cheryl, can I get you to put this in a bowl for me?
You got it. Let me get that for you.
Thank you. And then I'll get rid of my food processor and tell you about the next step. Next thing we're going to do is take this lovely piece of salmon here, and I'm going to season it. We're going to oven poach it, which means I'm going to just bake it in a shallow pan with some liquid. I've got salt and pepper in it. And, oh, thank you so much. And I'm going to place it in the baking dish. I'm also going to season it with a little cayenne pepper And then after this is cooked, I'm going to bake it for about 20 minutes because I don't want to dry it out. I just want it to be nice and flaky. Some chopped minced garlic and some diced white onions, just a little bit on there, and the white wine. And then you'll see after I flake it, I'm going to put this together and make these really wonderful salmon cakes with fresh herbs, which I'll be chopping. As soon as you, I'm going to stick this in the oven.
Okay, good. You do that, because I want to start my caramelized onions. To start them caramelizing, rather. I put oil in the pan. I'm doing some butter. And then I'm going to, it looks like a lot of onions, but it's really not, because we're cooking these down. I'll start with a little first, and as it collapses, I'll add more. But we're caramelizing this, which means we're going to be cooking it pretty slowly for about, it'll probably take an hour till it's all down. We're caramelizing, we're not charring. So while that cooks down, I'm going to start my crust, which is, I'm going to start with flour.
The natural sugars in the onions that are going to come out, that's what you mean by caramelizing?
Yes, that's good. We're pulling out the sugar slowly. I'm going to add in my salt, sugar, and I'm going to just mix that together a moment to combine the ingredients. And then I'm going to slowly, not even slowly, I'm just going to add in, I'm not making mayonnaise. I'm going to add in my cold iced water.
Oh, do you need that butter?
The butter. I knew there was something missing. I did something out of step, but you know what? It'll be fine, because we're going to chop these in really quickly.
And it has to be cold anyways.
Yeah, so the
bring
cold
it out
water,
the last minute, right?
Exactly. And actually, so now we're going to just mix it till this dough comes together. Let's see. You'll see, I mean, now that I've added the butter out of turn, it's still going to work out. Because I'm just chopping the butter to the consistency I need it to be. That's perfect. And now look at this. I'm going to press it together. I'm going to put it in the plastic, press it together.
Kind of a course meal.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to press it, refrigerate it for about 20 minutes because I want to set it up. So I'm going to. Could you grab me that other?
Yes.
Actually, both, because I want to show these guys. You can see how the dough's already coming together, and that's what we want. And you want to do it all cold so you get nice flakes.
I'm your refrigerator assistant today.
Thank you. Thank you, nurse. Okay, so now I've got, this is how it's going to look after it comes out of the fridge. You can see the butter, you can see the chips in there. And then I'm going to roll it out. And then I'm going to be left with something about this size. And look how nice, thank you. Look how nice and firm this gets in the fridge. Right? So you want to keep it always, always ice cold. And then I'm going to put it right into my tart pan. It's a little firm, so I'm going to let it, I would let it just like get a little warmer, fit it in here. Then I'm going to put some foil right down inside here, put these beans inside and bake it for a few minutes. So while these onions caramelize, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to pop the tart in the oven, and then what do we got to do? We got to get cooking, so don't go away.
You got it?
Thank you.
Excellent.
Tonight on Food Network, Alton and Jamie share their passion for food. First at 9, Alton Brown turns food facts into helpful hints and good eats.
And you've got a pretty fantastic meal.
Then at 9:30, Jamie Oliver gives you the basics with a twist.
What can I do? Should I slice it? Should I roast it? Should I fry it?
Making classic comfort food quick, easy, and fun.
It's going to be like well tasty.
Join Alton and Jamie for one great tasting hour.
Yeah, I think they're going to love it.
That's right.
Good Eats, followed by Oliver's Twist. Tonight, starting at 9 on Food Network.
The difference between natural and stay natural? 16 hours.
New Stay Natural makeup, a whole new color stay. Lightweight, flawless, won't rub off. So you stay naturally beautiful.
Only Revlon makes it. Only you make it unforgettable.
Introducing McCormick Grill Mates grilling sauces. Just grill, brush, and let the feast begin. New Grill Mates grilling sauces, along with seasonings and marinades, are from McCormick, the taste you trust.
Hiding from blemishes? At my age? No way. Now I can deal with them without drying my skin.
Introducing a breakthrough new cleanser designed for your adult skin from Aveeno. Clear Complexion Foaming Cleanser. Only Clear Complexion has a blemish-fighting ingredient recommended by dermatologists, plus moisture-rich soy to even out but not dry out your skin.
Me hide? Never.
Discover nature's secret for clearly beautiful skin. Clear Complexion Foaming Cleanser. New from Aveeno.
My little slugger. Even though he's had a life-threatening allergic reaction, Sam's determined to play pro ball. Last game, Sam was stung by a bee. His throat closed up. He couldn't breathe. While a friend called 911, I ran to inject his EpiPen. With severe allergic reactions like Sam's, every second counts.
Insect stings, food, or other allergies can cause a life-threatening emergency called anaphylaxis, with symptoms like trouble breathing, a swollen throat, or hives. EpiPen helps stop the reaction fast, giving you enough time to get necessary emergency medical help. EpiPen is available only by prescription for people with a history of anaphylaxis. Proper use is critical. Ask your doctor. Side effects may include fast or irregular heartbeat, nausea, and breathing difficulty. Call now and ask your doctor about EpiPen.
My little shortstop and I learned we have to be prepared. Because double plays or life-threatening allergies, every second counts.
You're under arrest. You're gonna fry for this one.
Welcome back to Melting Pot. We're cooking up some savory brunch dishes that you're gonna love. All right, I got my pan heating here to start my salmon cakes, salmon potato cakes, which this is sort of like an ode to my father, Cheryl. I want to tell you because I can't tell you how many mornings, Saturday mornings, my dad would put together the salmon and eggs, but often salmon out of the can. I'm starting with the fresh salmon.
It's different.
Yeah, you know, I'm a lady of the millennium, so that's what I like to use. And I have some mashed potatoes that I'm mixing up here with, and this is a good way to use leftovers, actually. They're day-old mashed potatoes because we want them cold. We don't want to start with hot mashed potatoes. I'm mixing them with the salmon. And as you see, I flake the salmon nicely, and I leave the onions and the garlic in there because they're cooked through now, and that's going to add so much flavor. And then I have my fresh chopped herbs here. I have some basil, some parsley, and tarragon.
Oh, I love tarragon.
Yeah, it's really, oh, it's so fragrant. It really adds a nice dimension to this. Now let me just turn this up and get, in my saute pan here, I will put vegetable oil and butter. Again, oil for, you know, the heating element, and then butter to give it some flavor. And I'll let that warm up there while I continue to mix this up. But yeah, we always had brunch growing up on the weekends, and that was sort of when my father would take over the kitchen. You know, my mom would always get the meals during the week, but this was his thing to do.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. And now I've actually served this in restaurants too. And in a restaurant, I would probably have my scale out and be measuring this, and so each cake was the same. But if you can just estimate, if you don't have a scale at home, you can just estimate. And I'm going to make these about 3 ounce. You can make them different sizes.
So
depends
I can make them smaller, like
you can make them like
for
a little
cocktail?
canal. Absolutely,
Ooh.
it'd be great. And then I have some fresh breadcrumbs here, which I roll the salmon cake in. You could use the store-bought kind if you want, but I like the fresh ones. And just make a little patty, just like you would, you know, a burger or something like that, or a crab cake. This is like an alternate to that. And I want to get that just a little bit hotter because I want the breadcrumbs to toast. So I'm going to make a few more cakes.
And then you're going to start frying those off?
And then I'll start frying these up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll get one of these in the pan just so they get the idea. And I put about 4 or 5 of these in the pan. And then I'm going to see what's the status of your
well, my onions have caramelized. They've come down, and I've let them cool. If you can look in the pot here, you'll see that the color is rich. It's like it's brown, but not. You see no bits of black. So, because you don't want that, that'll make your tart bitter.
Right.
So that's cool. What I'm going to do now is get my filling ready, which is basically a custard filling. It's just to bring this all together.
This is sort of like an updated quiche, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm adding my eggs. That's about 4 of them. I'm adding like 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Break those up a little bit before I add my eggs. And yeah, it's, you know, I think quiches though and tarts are perfect for brunches because then, you know, it's like I'm making enough filling for like 2 tarts. Because, you know, once people start eating it, they're gonna like come back and back, and you want to have like the salmon cakes. You want to have things that people can nosh on throughout the time. Because
the other thing that's good about it is that you don't have to really bother with egg cookery. you know, sitting over and making your omelets and making sure,
or trying to keep scrambled eggs, you know, hot, or or trying to make omelets to serve
to order.
Yeah, although you can do, like, omelet parties are fun.
Yeah, they are.
So this is my pie shell. I pre-baked it, and it's nice and golden because it's a shallow tart. I want to make sure my crust is baked and not, you know, undercooked. So I'm going to add the cold onions to my pie pan, and you see all that mountain of onions. Look what it cooked down to. All right, so let me get that in here, and I'm not mixing my onions in that because this is an onion tart, so I really want that onion pronounced. So what I'm going to do is add that. I'm going to sprinkle this with fresh thyme, and you can also cook the thyme down in it a bit, and then I'm going to add some fresh grated nutmeg. And that goes right on, and I want it all over and throughout, so I'm going to do it right over this. You can do it, whoa, did you see that jump?
I did.
You can add it to the custard, but now I'm going to take the custard and just pour it over.
You know, all these fresh herbs really remind you of summer as well. You know?
It does, it does.
It's so great to use them when they're available.
Yes. So then that's it. And I'm going to fill this, fill up maybe another one, and then we'll get into the oven. But while you put those, you're going to cook those
these
off,
I'm going to cook. I'm going to turn them, and you'll see they'll be nice and brown on top.
So then you're going to finish in the oven?
I'll finish them in the oven to cook them through.
All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll show you how the rest of this brunch comes together. So you don't want to miss it. So let me see.
Grab a ringside seat for Food Network's newest show, where two teams of culinary contenders face off in a food fight.
Got an extra tonight?
No, we don't.
It's a race against the clock as they shock, sizzle, and serve it up to see whose meal knocks out the judges. Food Fight, tomorrow night at 10 on Food Network.
Mom, I'm home! Be right there. No cookies, please. No candy either. The cake's for dessert. No double dipping.
Try Kids Ranch, an outrageous orange and purple pizzazz. New from Naturally Fresh.
Now, you guys went to a casual dining restaurant and spent big bucks, but you guys went to KFC and got the same quality meal for half the price.
Get to KFC today and pick up the family feast. A 10-piece bucket, 3 large sides, and 6 biscuits, all for $15.99. And get a free half-gallon of Pepsi.
Watch how OxyClean unleashes the power of oxygen, making tough stains disappear like magic without fading or bleeding the colors. Watch OxyClean remove those really tough stains like blueberries, coffee, even red wine. OxyClean is tough on stains without the damaging effects of chlorine bleach. If you save 1 pair of jeans, then OxyClean has paid for itself. Don't just clean it, OxyClean it.
Allergies can strike anywhere, anytime.
That's why I take Clarinex.
Clarinex helps block histamine. Get 24-hour non-drowsy allergy relief from pets, pollen, mold, and dust. Side effects are similar to sugar pill, including sore throat, dry mouth, and fatigue. Clarinex. Talk to your doctor about the anywhere, anytime allergy relief of Clarinex.
Visit Western.com, member of Starwood Preferred Guest.
Friday nights, discover great food from around the world. First at 9, Tyler Florence collects the best recipes from the world's experts, then creates his ultimate version for you.
Delicious.
Then at 9:30, Tony Bourdain's quest is the perfect food experience.
Food is always good here.
Tyler's Ultimate, followed by a cook's tour. Friday night starting at 9 on Food.
Coleman promised.
Coleman promised to light my way.
Only Coleman has been making the world's most reliable lanterns for 100 years.
Coleman promised me shelter from the storm.
No one but Coleman makes tents with the WeatherTech system to keep you dry, guaranteed.
Coleman promised. Coleman promised to get me through the night.
And the double lock valve that guarantees our airbeds won't leak.
Coleman promised.
Coleman promised to keep things cool.
And the extreme cooler that keeps ice for 5 days in temperatures of up to 90 degrees.
That's cool.
Coleman promised to make us comfortable outside.
Only Coleman makes the mosquito Delito, guaranteed to trap and kill mosquitoes.
Coleman promised.
Coleman promised.
Coleman keeps its promise with every product we make. Visit us online to learn more, find a retailer, and enter to win free gear. We're giving away $200 in products every day, plus a grand prize of $2,000 in gear. $200 in free gear every day, only at Coleman.com.
Coleman promised.
Welcome back. We're going to get started on our delicious brunch menu here. As you can see here, I've sauteed off my salmon cakes. They're
golden.
Yep, they're nice and gold on top. The breadcrumbs are toasted. And I'm going to put them in an oven of 350 degrees for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Everything's already cooked. They don't really have to cook through. So I'll put them in there. And your tarts in here, right?
Yeah, my tarts are in there cooking at about they're cooking at 350 degrees. I'm going to leave them in there for about, 35, 40 minutes until it's firmed in the center.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get started on my bacon and potato hash. I've got some bacon rendering in here. I use slab bacon, and I cut it into small dice. You can use sliced bacon, but I prefer the slab. And as you see, I'm going to leave the fat in here. It's going to be what I use to saute my vegetables in. And you know, Cheryl, pork and pork fat was such a big part of cookery, you know, in the South. It has been to add flavor. And, you know, as they always say, they use everything from the snout to the tail in the pig, you know, that nothing goes to waste.
Didn't have anything to waste.
Exactly. Or as my dad said, everything but the oink, you know, that's what goes in the pan. So this is what I'm going to add. I'm going to add some minced garlic. I'm also going to add some diced bell peppers. I have red and green bell peppers and some diced white onions. So I'll add all that at once and let that saute with the bacon. The bacon has rendered nicely, so it's partially cooked. And put that together. And this is, I'm calling it hash, sort of like a home fry type of dish. I want to get that nicely sauteed. And over here, I'm going to be adding some potatoes, which I've chopped up into a small dice. And then I partially cooked them, which means I brought them to a boil in water, and I cooked them through till they're about fork tender, and made sure I pat them dry nicely before I add them to the hash, so they can get nice and crisped up. But while I'm sauteing this, you've got some lovely tomatoes.
I've got the most beautiful tomatoes here. But I just got to say,
that's so reminiscent of summer.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah.
I got to tell you though, like my new method for doing the potatoes is like I dice it small and then I microwave it. I cover it in plastic, put it on a dish, and I microwave it for about, till it's fork tender, which saves me time and I don't have to use another pot.
There you go.
So anyway, I'm doing my yellow tomato salad, and it's gorgeous, the color, the flavor. It's a little less acidic than red tomatoes. They're a little sweeter.
Right.
And I'm putting onions on that, and what I like to do with my onions, whether it's white or red, is I like to kind of soak it in a little water to pull the bitterness off, the harsh flavor, which is cool.
Idea.
Some people, it's like that rawness as go for it,
Right.
So that way you make it like make it a little milder. And this is just layering. I'm putting my onions over there. I can put some more.
They're still a little strong. They're getting to my eyes a little bit.
But
once you get it all
once you get the marinade going, and I'm going to season it with a little salt. Look at this, how humid it is today.
Eyes, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I do too. I have other people cut the onions.
Right.
So I'm going to season it a little bit with salt and pepper, and then I'm going to put some fresh thyme right over that. Right. Pull it off. Fresh thyme adds such amazing flavor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do that to the whole thing, and then I'm going to drizzle it with a little sherry. And in this case, I'm using a Spanish sherry, and I'm going to just drizzle it nicely.
Sherry vinegar or sherry wine?
Vinegar. Sherry wine vinegar.
Wow. You know what I love most about brunch is the time of day that it takes place.
Oh, yeah.
Because I always feel so self-indulgent when I've worked enough brunches. I don't know about you. That shift in the restaurant.
Oh, I know. I feed the crew first, and then we worry about the customers.
Right.
But then I'm going to also drizzle it with a little olive oil. And this is going to bring this all together beautifully. And I'm going to keep putting some more thyme on there, because the thyme accent is marvelous. Anyway, we've got to take another break, but our brunch is almost ready to be served.
Coming up next, hot off the grill with Bobby Flay. Then sweet dreams and chocolate with Jacques Torres. Right here on Food Network.
Sunday. It's a day for naps. A day to water the lawn. A day to be the Grill King. And a day for Hormel, always tender, fresh pork. Lively lemon and garlic. Fork tender. Makes the day delicious. No matter what day it is. Today's flavor, Hormel.
Too old for breakouts? Too young for wrinkles? So you thought. New Neutrogena Anti-Wrinkle Anti-Blemish Cleanser. It's a first. It fights wrinkles and blemishes every time you cleanse. Skin looks clearer and younger. New Neutrogena Anti-Wrinkle Anti-Blemish Cleanser.
One vacuum cleaner stands above all others. It's from Hoover. It's self-propelled, so you barely have to push. And with wind tunnel technology, it picks up more dirt than any other bagless brand, period. They say it's lonely at the top. We think it's just extraordinarily clean. The self-propelled wind tunnel bagless, only from Hoover.
Summer Unwrapped, Monday night at 9 on Food Network.
She's dark green, cashback, low intro, and end of the month. He's yellow, travel, everyday rate, and middle of the month. She's purple, travel, low intro, and beginning of the month. Introducing Bank One's Personal Platinum, the simple new way to choose your rate, your reward, your billing date, even your color. Bank One's Personal Platinum, issued by us, but created by you.
In a true Italian home, the kitchen is the heart. It's where people gather to talk, to laugh, and to eat. And so it is at Romano's Macaroni Grill. You are literally surrounded by the sights, the sounds, and the aromas of great Italian dishes. Like our fabulous new twice-baked lasagna with meatballs.
I know just the place for that.
Welcome to Romano's Macaroni Grill. Into our kitchen and into our heart.
Mapani worms. Call me crazy. Tastes like honey glazed chicken.
Hey, come on, it's chicken. Try it.
Dite che c'ha inafanana kama mapani worms.
Welcome back to Melting Pot. We've prepared a delicious brunch menu here for you today. I began with some salmon and potato cakes made with beautiful fresh herbs, tarragon, basil, and parsley, to be served with a roasted tomato mayonnaise. And then I made a bacon and potato hash with bell peppers and onions. Also with some garlic in it, yeah, and nice big chunky pieces of slab bacon. What did you put?
And then I did a caramelized onion tart, which is rich in that sweet onion flavor, and a crust that we made, and you can see how simple that is. And again, fresh herbs in there. And next I made a yellow tomato salad, which is going to be very refreshing, and work with all of these. I can see the salmon right down on top of a few pieces of the tomato.
Absolutely.
I think it's a beautiful menu, and we had a very relaxed time making it.
We did. It would be a great buffet, too. I mean, you know, you could get this ready before your guests arrive.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid we've run out of time. Thanks for watching Melting Pot. I'm Tanya Holland.
And I'm Cheryl Smith. We hope we've inspired you to cook your own brunch at home.
Join us next time in the Soul Kitchen, right here in Melting Pot.